an AppleVis original.
My name is Hema Natarajan. I am a product manager here at Benetech, which is our parent company that produces Bookshare. I'm part of the global literacy team here, and I am currently managing the Bookshare Reader suite of products, which we'll be talking about in this podcast episode. Bookshare is the world's largest accessible library. So we have a lot of ebooks that we make available for our users who are print disabled, meaning users who have reading barriers because of either dyslexia or low vision, visual impairment, or even mobility impairment. So like people who have cerebral palsy or other conditions like that.
Now, Hema, I am anxious to hear this, and the purpose of this podcast is exclusively about Bookshare, but you have some news that you want to reveal to our listeners. So what is and what are those to reveal to us? Hello, everybody, and welcome to an AppleVis Extra. This is podcast number 85. My name is Thomas Domville, also known as Anonymous, and with me, I have my co-host, which he has been, a team member for a very long time, and a good friend of mine, Scott Davert. How are you, Scott?
Well, good evening, Thomas. It is wonderful to be back here. And 85, that sounds like a good temperature. Can we do that?
I was thinking that was a good year. I love 85.
I was 3. I don't know.
I was just graduating from high school from that time, so it was a good time. It's been so long. I couldn't even remember the last time we had a podcast, just so you and I together.
I know, but we have a bonus. It's not just you and me. That's why it's an extra.
That's right. Extra. You are indeed right. And we are going to be talking about Bookshare, which I know that Scott and I have been members once in the past or current subscriber to Bookshare. And we got some exciting news, and we brought along a wonderful guest from Bookshare themselves. We have Hema. How are you doing, Hema?
Hi, Thomas. Doing great. Thanks for having me on your show.
Awesome. I'm just so glad you're able to come on. I'm so excited to reveal this to everybody out there that may be a Bookshare user, or maybe new people out there that might be interested in what you have to just tell us today. Let's start with your name. Just tell us who you are and what you do for Bookshare.
Sure. My name is Hema Natarajan. I am a product manager here at Benetech, which is our parent company that produces Bookshare. I'm part of the global literacy team here, and I am currently managing the Bookshare Reader suite of products, which we'll be talking about in this podcast episode. And I have, in my previous life, before I joined Benetech, I have been a product manager building products for companies like Microsoft, mostly enterprise products. And I've done that for over 12 years. Have an MBA from University of Washington. And I'm glad to be here working on this important product that's going to be useful for a lot of our Bookshare users, and maybe some users who are not part of Bookshare. So excited to be talking about that.
Absolutely. My gosh, what a career you have. That is awesome that you have quite a, great background. And to working for Bookshare, I'm sure that's been a wonderful experience for you to be working with Bookshare. How long have you been working for Bookshare?
It's been 7 months. Yeah, pretty new here.
Really new. That's awesome. So why don't you begin to tell us about Bookshare itself first? So I know there's some of our listeners out there probably don't know what Bookshare is. Now, it's a service, and I thought maybe hearing it from you, if those people can understand what Bookshare is, so we can get an idea what we are going to be talking about?
Sure. Yeah. Let me talk about Bookshare. Like you said, it's a service. It is a service built by Benetech, which is a nonprofit company organization that is building software for social good. And Bookshare is the world's largest accessible library. So we have a lot of ebooks that we make available for our users who are print disabled, meaning users who have reading barriers because of either dyslexia or low vision, visual impairment, or even mobility impairment. So like people who have cerebral palsy or other conditions like that. So we make this library available for all these users, and we have over I would say over 1 million titles available in our library. And we have these titles available in 5 different formats. And those formats are like Word, EPUB, which is our ebook format, and DAISY, BRF, which is the Braille format, and also the audio format, which is the MP3 format. And so if we count all these, so the 1 million titles in all these 5 formats is, it gives us like over 5 million titles available for our Bookshare users worldwide, not just in the US. And we have over 900,000 users who have benefited through Bookshare. And Bookshare is, it's funded by the Department of Education in US. And we really are grateful for their help in making all these books and the millions of titles available for our users.
How interesting. 1 million. That's a lot of books. And, Bookshare is one of my favorite and go-to because I will typically look at BARD or NFB Newsline. Those are the things that we have in the United States for the citizens to be able to look up their national library for books. But I tell you, almost every time when I'm looking for a book and it's not on that platform, it's always on Bookshare. So it's always got the books I need on Bookshare. You find that too, Scott?
I do. And for fun, or what somebody like me would consider fun, I just looked, and Bookshare is almost up to 1.1 million. The count, as I'm reading it now, is 1,097,476. And to give you a little perspective, when I joined in 2003, and I've been an active member ever since, they had thousands, but they weren't like hundreds of thousands. I think it was around 20,000 at the time. But even back then, just the fact that you could get all this material in an accessible format, it just was amazing. It blew me away. It really literally changed my life. It made me a much more avid reader than I was prior to that. I had been mostly using audiobooks, and there weren't a lot of BRF files available that I could load onto my note taker. And then I found out about Bookshare, and boy, what a change that was.
Mm-hmm. It's got a wealth of information on there. Hema was saying that is worldwide. Now, I have a question on that for Hema, for you on that. You said it's worldwide service. So this is available for anybody worldwide?
So yes, we have, Bookshare, I think we have Bookshare users in over 95 countries now. So it is available through, so we we partner with a lot of international libraries. Mm-hmm. So Bookshare is available through those partnerships, or in some countries, I can provide a link with the list of countries, but in some countries, we also make this available for free for anybody who has that print disability. So yes, it's I was thrilled to see that this is available in over 95 countries, and I'm not sure if you know about this Marrakesh Treaty. It is an international sort of treaty that allows publishers, allows Bookshare to kind of include books from various publishers, various international publishers in our library. So,
no, I had no idea. That is fantastic. So the rate for this service, it will vary from the countries you're in. Now, I believe in the United States, it is what, $50 a year?
Yes, it is. Bookshare is actually available for free for students who are, anywhere from like pre-K to PhD students. Thanks to, again, the U.S. Department of Education and their funding. And then if there are non-student users who are like, adult users, it is $50 a year. But again, if you live in certain states where we have partnerships with libraries, you can get the membership for free through the libraries.
Nice.
Yeah, here in New York State, if you're a member of the New York Public Library in New York City, you can get it for free as well. And the great thing about the $50 fee, even though literally over 1 million books have been added since I've joined, it was the same fee in 2003 as it is now. I think that's great.
Seriously. Wow. That's great, Scott. I'll have to check in my state. I don't think it's free, available for us for free, but $50 is not bad, especially if an avid reader I am. Now, Hema, I am anxious to hear this, and the purpose of this podcast is exclusively about Bookshare, but you have some news that you want to reveal to our listeners. So what is and what are those to reveal to us?
Yes, so we recently announced our Bookshare Reader Suite, which is a suite of readers, reading tools, reading applications that we are launching in the summer this year, but around back to school timeframe. So yeah, I would love to talk more about those. We can, like I said, Bookshare is a library, and we have over 1 million titles and 5 different formats. So that's like over 5 million titles. But how do you read all these, right? So how do you access these different formats and these books? We worked on 3 different kind of reader applications. So we have the Bookshare Reader for Web, which is our web-based, browser-based reading tool that you can directly access from the Bookshare website itself. So you don't need an additional reader to download or anything else. You just go straight from Bookshare website. You can just hit read now on any book that you want to try out, and that will open the new browser-based web reader. And there are various options available for our different kinds of users, either, users that are dyslexic. They have set option, like customizable options that they can choose to make their reading experience better for them, or for our users who are visually impaired. We have the text-to-speech, read aloud options, and for like low vision users, we have large fonts and like various color preset options that they can customize and use in the reader. So this is one set of reading tool, right? And this is it's a browser-based tool. And the second one is the mobile app. So we are building an app which will work on both iOS and Android, and that will be kind of similar to what you see on the web reader. So we will have the reading experience will be consistent across all our reading tools. So that's our goal, is to provide that consistent user experience. So we, in the second set of like mobile apps, you can just have the app on your phone. You can have the same kind of customizable settings on this reader, and there are like all these fancy voice options for read aloud based on like whether you use iOS and Android. So tons of options, And then the third one is the smart speaker option. So we just rolled out our public beta for Bookshare Alexa skill. So today, if you're an Alexa user, you can just go and find Bookshare Reader on your Alexa store and enable it, and just link it to your Bookshare account, and you can just start listening to your books. So these are the 3 reading applications that we are launching this summer. So I'm excited to be working on that and talking about it today.
Well, that's amazing, because you're pretty much covering all the platforms here. I mean, you got the web-based application, which is a worker for the Microsoft and a Mac browsers themselves. Also, we were discussing about apps for mobile devices for Android and iOS, which is, I think it's going to be a big one for me, because I listen to and read all my books off of my Apple iOS. And lastly, so you mentioned that Alexa skill is now in beta, so it's starting to come out. This is very exciting news. This is going to be a specific Bookshare reader that's designed by Bookshare themselves. Why now? You know, you've been around for so long. Why do you guys decide to do this now?
Yeah, actually, I had to clarify that these are, so we had various versions of these available, except for the smart speaker skill, of course, that's pretty new. But we had an old web reader, and then we had 2 mobile apps, one specifically for iOS, one for Android, that we built a while ago, several years ago. So now we are trying to, with this new launch, with this new reader suite, what we're trying to do is provide consistent experience, again, across all our apps. And also, bring in more modern user experience standards. So we also are working on providing compliance for WCAG 2.0 AA standard, which is Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. That's the WCAG. So that's the standard we are following for all our apps. So, that's the reason we are trying to launch this new reader suite with these more modern kind of user experience that is consistent. And also adding a few new features. For example, annotation, which we never had in our apps before. That's something we are currently working on. So we also provide MathML support. MathML is mathematical, it's a markup language for math. So it will make it easier for you to use any reader and read math books. So, those are the new features we are adding with these as we launch these new reader suite.
How interesting. So I guess we'll break this down a little bit. Let's talk about the web application itself. Now, is this web application is going to be accessible by your choice of browsers? So is there a specific browser we're talking about, or will it work all across Safari, Edge, Google Chrome, and such like that?
Yeah, so we are supporting 4 major browsers, like you said, Safari, Chrome, Edge, and Firefox.
Awesome.
And the latest versions of those, we'll be announcing the supported versions when we launch, but you can just assume the latest versions.
Is this going to be kind of like a web app instead of just like an HTML?
Yes, so it's going to be a web app. So I wish I could show you a demo of the product, but so right now it's in private beta. So we are working with some school districts and students to test them out. So if you are a Bookshare user and if you have seen our old web reader, it's going to be kind of similar, but with the more modern UX elements and more features added to the web reader. But yeah, it's a web app, so it opens in your browser, and you have you can use VoiceOver in Mac or Windows if you're using NVDA and things. And then you can also do, if you don't want to use your VoiceOver and you still want to like read aloud. We have this text to speech option, so you can read aloud, and for some of our kids who are dyslexic, they like to follow along when it's being read aloud. So we do text highlighting. So we have word and sentence level highlighting in the book when we do the TTS, the text to speech option. So there are lots of exciting features in the reader.
That's nice. So the text to speech is going to use is native voice, whatever package that you're using on the platform. So if with the Mac, it's using the voice over voices, or is this its own set of voices?
No, this will be platform specific. So whatever you have available, you will have that option in the reader stuff. Yeah.
And so on Windows, it'll be available for JAWS and NVDA users, so they'll be able to access this as well.
Yep.
All right. That sounds fascinating. So let's talk about the mobiles then, specifically for the Apple iOS here. As you say, it's pretty much going to do those same features for the low vision folks. It's going to read along different fonts, colors, and we get to use our built-in iOS voice over voices. That'd be correct?
Yep.
And I'm curious now, is this something that's going to be a free app to download? You just have to have an account with Bookshare to use for free?
Yes. Yeah. That's the best part, right? It's all free. So that was actually our another motivation to do this now, is also like to provide that, make it equitable for all our users. There are some readers that are available, and paid readers that are available that are of high quality, but we also wanted to make sure all our users had access to reading tools and applications that are of good quality that are available for free.
This will be interesting, Scott. See how this works for Braille, especially the DAISY format on the Bookshare Reader on iOS. I assuming it will be iOS specific that's going to be running the Braille interface.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I have used Voice Dream Reader in the past, but I had some issues accessing the material with Braille. So really hoping that this app will fully support Braille. Because for me, that's all I use. I don't use synthesized speech. I simply read everything because my hearing is to the point where I can't really understand synthesized speech. So my question about the app. So let's say I download it and install it. When I want to get a book, right, I could just download it to my my iOS device and then open and read it, correct?
You can download, or you can also stream without downloading. So we have both options. So download and then read offline, or you can just say read now, which is immediate streaming the book. That's
interesting. Scott, you make a very good point, and that is for many years, in order for us to access Bookshare on an Apple iOS, we have to use a third-party app, and that might be Voice Dream Reader or Dolphin Easy Reader. And there's some other handful of apps that will do similar things like that. I'm with you. I use Voice Dream Reader. So have you ever used Dolphin Easy Reader instead? Is it that see if it's an app specific issue?
For Braille, yeah. My experience with Easy Reader, I mean, it works. It's not that it doesn't work. It's just the UI could be a little easier to access for Bookshare specific content. There's a lot of other things, a lot of other libraries that I don't have access to. And I can handle that. But some of the people I work with, if once you throw too many things in there, they get just confused. You're talking about people who, many of them are senior citizens. A lot of them are not quite on par or not quite as tech savvy as some of us are. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, the app in this sense, I think, would really help with that, because you're not worrying about, oh, well, I need to make sure I select my Bookshare library as opposed to Sella, for example, or like, Project Gutenberg's another one that's on there. But, if it's all Bookshare specific stuff, that takes a lot of layers out of training that needs to occur, because there's, I would assume, many less menu options to navigate to get to what you want to read.
That is a good point. I like that approach. Yes, you're right. This Bookshare Reader app is specific. It will be Bookshare only. And you only deal with that library. And so the interface should be. I am curious, Hema. I would think, and I could be wrong, is these third-party like Voice Dream Reader or Dolphin, are they API driven or are they kind of a HTML driven? Do you know?
You mean like when they access the Bookshare books?
Yes.
Yeah, they use our API.
Okay. So when this new Bookshare app reader comes out for the iOS, is it going to be kind of very similar to what you can see on the web browser? So is it going to be a hybrid kind of a interface of the web browser itself, or is it going to be like just very straight standalone and just designed for app only?
So we are, whatever elements we can port over to the mobile environment, we are trying to bring them, but then you're still restricted by the environment itself. So we are making certain design decisions because this is a mobile app. But our focus is to make this as user friendly as possible, and like you mentioned, like get you to like go to your book as fast as possible, like with as many or as quickly as possible, and without too many clicks, right? So not creating a lot of friction and just making it as user friendly as possible. So when you are logged in, you just when you go into the app, you are right there in your library. You can just start reading a book. Just click on it and say read now, and it'll start reading the book.
I got something for you. I'm curious now. Are you going to have any sort of about storing your profile? In other words, will it remember that I'm reading this book here, and then I go to the web? Will it see that same book and same placement? So
Great question.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did that. Yeah. So it's we did the cross-device sync. So right now, so we've done cross-device sync for our web browser, the web reader. So if you are going across browsers or like going between your Mac to your the mobile browser on your iPad or something, the status persisted. So you will still, like if you read like 5 pages, you'll be in the 6th page when you open that in your mobile browser, let's say. And we plan to do that same cross-device sync across our different readers, right? Like between mobile and web. So when you read a book on your web reader and you're on page 5, and then you try to open the same book on mobile reader, you will be taken to page 6, right? So that's the goal. That's what we intend to do once we finish the development for our mobile reader.
That's sweet. That would be really nice. Now, I'll throw a wrench in there for you. Now, you mentioned that you are going to be working on an Alexa skill. Is currently in beta. Would that work on that one as well?
Good question again.
That's the wrench.
There is a reason why I didn't mention that.
It'll work on the web and the mobile, but yeah, Alexa's a whole different beast, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll be looking into it, but right now, I can only talk about this because I can see this in the roadmap, but eventually we will, I think once we have all the other features that we wanted to build in Alexa built, I think this is something we'll be looking into.
That'll be interesting when you bring the Alexa skill. For one, I think it's going to be great. I mean, I have so many clients that I train with the Alexa devices, and I think the Bookshare is going to be amazing. They're going to be able to listen to the books. And you probably, obviously it doesn't have any vision elements unless you're introducing it to the show, which is the Alexa device with a screen. How is that going to work? It's just going to be audio only, or is it going to be audio and visual?
It's going to be audio only.
Okay. So you probably have the very basic things on Alexa. I'm guessing just, skip forward, go to next chapter and that sort of things.
Yeah. So you can do, there's chapter navigation. There is like adjusting your reading speed. and then adding books to your reading list. Like you can ask for your history, and then we are also currently working on a search feature where you can directly through your Alexa search for books and add them to your list. And also working on something called Discover. Like we want to make sure we provide great content discoverability for our users. So you want to, let's say you want to you don't know what you want to read, so you're just trying to find a new and interesting book for you, right? So that's something we are working on. And two other features actually that's going to be really interesting that we'll be including in our launches. Being able to call our Bookshare support through that skill. So
nice.
Yeah. So and then you can also, Bookshare also does something called Bookshare Book Club. So you can join Book Club and join the Book Club event through the skill. So you can just say, hey,
wow.
Yeah. So
are you going to have that for the mobile by any chance?
Good question. Actually, no, we haven't talked about that for a mobile app. But maybe that's something we can be looking into.
I think that would be kind of cool if you can join that, if we can have the club and the support on the mobile version. You have a question, Scott?
Oh, I was just saying that would be great. We can't go to the club because of the pandemic. So, at least we can have that as a club, right? That's something.
Yeah.
I actually had a question going back to iOS. Now, are you guys working on a separate app for the iPad, or are you going to run the same app on, your iPhone and iPad?
It's going to be the same app for tablets and mobile phones. Right now, our focus is on the phones, like as we are building and as we are testing. But that's going to be our next. Before we launch, we'll also make sure that all this, whatever we do for the mobile device, also works on tablets, and we test and we make sure everything is great. But it's going to be the same app across mobile and tablet devices.
Do you have some features now? I know you mentioned a few already. Are there other features you like to care to talk about that might be available on the mobile that we have not seen or might be looking forward to?
Yeah. So the main ones that, I have through my conversation with our actual student users and adult users, is the, voice options, the text to speech, and the sentence level highlighting and word level highlighting. I think those are, super popular with the students, because it helps them improve their reading fluency as they follow along, when the book is being read to them. And also the other thing that I have heard several students mention to me that they like is the color options that are available. We have these high contrast options, and then there are also we have two options that are available for colorblind users. So lots of customizable color settings that seem to be very interesting for the users. I think those are the main ones that I want to point out. And then eventually, when we have the annotation, so the highlighting, note-taking, and bookmarking, again, those are, maybe equally useful for our adult users, but definitely a lot more useful for our student users. I think, and also that, being able to read STEM books, right? Like books that have equations as images, right? So that's an important focus for us, is to make these books with a lot of images accessible to our users. Because today, when you have a math book, a digital math book, what happens is a lot of times these equations are added as images. And if you don't have the image descriptions for these equations, right? When somebody reads a math book, or when it's being read to them through a reader, or through let's say voiceover, all they hear is math, some text, and then image, right? Where there is equation, they just hear image, and that's not math. I mean, that doesn't really help them learn that math book, learn that math concept. So that's our that's an important area of our focus. So we are trying to make sure not only just like these novels and other text-based books, but also the STEM books or STEAM books work on Bookshare Bookshare readers.
That's awesome. So many things to look forward to. And this all being in-house, or are you hiring a third-party outfit to do all these things for you?
So far, we built all this in-house, and I think that's how that's our plan. Unless something changes, we need to do something sooner, or the schedule changes or anything. This is going to be all in-house.
Well, that says a lot, because the reason I say that is because if it's in-house, that means you'll be able to have the control to be able to release things quicker and easily without having to confer with other people outside. So that is good news for us as a consumer, to know that you have control of your own software and you can do what you want to do with it. So you mentioned that some of these things are in beta, but they all seem to be on target to be released sometime in the summer before school starts. Is that what I think you said?
Yep, that's correct.
And what's in beta now?
So our the Bookshare skill for Alexa is on public beta. So you can go to Alexa store and look for Bookshare Reader and you can access it. And then our Bookshare web reader is on private beta. So we were working with selective users like students and school districts to test them. And if any of your listeners want to participate, they can reach out to me anytime. I would love to have more private beta users tested for us. So that would be great. And our mobile reader is right now in like pre-alpha, kind of alpha testing phase. And we'll be announcing the private beta in maybe a few months, I think.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, what do you think, Scott?
Well, first of all, I'm just continuing to be impressed by what Bookshare offers. All of the things here, but everything that has been developed already, like the ability to download onto Braille displays natively, like the Brilliant, and the Braille Sense having a Bookshare downloader, and it's really nice that Bookshare is basically everywhere and also accessible to everyone. So whether you're low vision, deaf, blind, dyslexic, whatever it is, Bookshare really works hard to accommodate all different forms of reading disabilities. And I would say that that's probably the most admirable thing about Bookshare from my perspective, working with a lot of different, we call them consumers, in different types of situations. So it's just great to see all these things.
It's just everywhere.
From the mobile app perspective, I mean, I can, as a Braille user, I would really like to be involved in that beta if I could be, simply to test it from a Braille perspective, because sometimes what happens with VoiceOver doesn't always necessarily apply to Braille. It could be a totally different situation. So I really do hope that Benetech does have some beta testers who are Braille only users who don't use speech to test that use case.
Yes, we do have a set of low vision impaired users that we work with to alpha test our products. And but Scott, I would love to have you as our tester, and I can when we have so it seems, I mean, again, we are in the iOS podcast, so it seems like you're an iOS user, so I would love to get you set up on a test flight app for iOS, and just have you accessing our alpha version when we are good to go on that trend. Yes, I think, like you said, we have had several users who are more like the voiceover users who have tested this, but I think it would be great to also have the Braille users tested.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'd love to have you and any other listener who's listening to this podcast if they are Bookshare users. First of all, if they are not Bookshare users, I would encourage them to go sign up and because it's, like we said, there are like millions of books available for you to read, and all the latest ones. And I'm an admin, like I have admin user account there, and I like to see all those latest New York Times bestsellers there, right? I mean, so it's definitely a great service to, and like we said, there are certain states where it's free if you go to the library and ask for a membership. And if you are a Bookshare user, I would love to have you like either try out our public beta Alexa skill, or, if you want to be part of private beta for a web reader, or or alpha tester for a mobile reader, I would love to hear from you.
And how would they do that, Hema? So what would be the best way?
Yeah, so they can email me. Is it okay to give my email ID here, or how do we?
Absolutely. If you feel, if you're comfortable in giving your email out to the public.
Yeah. Are you sure?
We can definitely post it in our show notes, as well as in here, or maybe we'll just specifically put it in the podcast. That way you don't get spam as much as you would in the show note. So listen very closely, folks. Hema is going to tell you where you can email her to get into this beta stuff.
Yeah, so it's my email ID is Hema, HEMAN @benetech.org. So I don't know if I need to repeat it, or did you get that, Thomas?
I did. And thank you so much. And I tell you what, folks, if for some reason you are not able to get that, just email us just email me at thomas@applevis.com, and I will give you her email to you folks.
Are you sure, Thomas?
I am sure. I can at least control that one.
Yeah.
I could just turn it off. This is exciting news, Hema. I am so thrilled to death, and I'm so excited that we are able to get you on. As a Bookshare member myself, I was thrilled to death to see it's going to have a standalone app. Will the consistency be similar all across all the devices? I mean, obviously Alexa's a little different, but like the Android and iOS, will you have similar screens and things like that?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So, so the UX, the user experience element, the UI, all those are going to be the same, except for the voice options, because again, those depend on the platforms that you use.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. So do you have any additional information you'd like to fill in that we did not cover in this podcast?
No, I think we covered a lot of information about the readers themselves. And like we mentioned, Thomas, this is coming up soon in back to school time frame. So keep an eye out for it. And again, reach out if you're interested in testing. And if there are other questions, features that you want us to consider, or, based on your experience with our current readers, if you have any feedback, we would love to hear that also.
Got any more questions from you, Scott?
No more questions, but I just, as somebody who's been a Bookshare member for years and years and years, man, I sound old saying that, don't I?
Hey, you are old, man.
Well, look in the mirror, sir. But what I wanted to say was just really to express my appreciation for everything that Bookshare has done over the years, from its foundings in, I believe, 2002, if I remember correctly, back when most of the books that were there were scanned by individuals and then proofread and then submitted. Now, of course, we have a lot of publisher content, and I just wanted to thank everyone at Bookshare for all the things that you guys have done over the years to really make Bookshare evolve into what it is today. And I could have never imagined when I signed up in 2003 that I would have nearly 1.1 million books at my disposal. It's nothing short of amazing in my book. So thank you for that.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Scott. Hearing from users like yourself, I think that's what keeps our team going. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. And, the high level stuff is you pretty much hit it right on the head. I am in a little bit of the small little details. I noticed that the web is way better than the mobile when it comes to like voice stream reader, because you're not able to order the publishing date. For example, I like to follow certain authors. For example, Steve Berry is one of them. I want to be able to just go to Steve Berry, see what's made by Steve Berry on apps, and sort it the way I want it. And the most important thing is I love series. And one of the nice things that NFB has done with their newsline, and actually, I'm sorry, it's Bard, that they just recently done by series. So if there's a book series, I can join that series and it will let me know if there's a new book in that series or by that author. So there's some very small details, things like that I would love to see. But of course, those are just things down the road. We got to hammer out these big things first. But I'm with Scott. Thank you so much, Hema, for all the things that Bookshare has done and all the things they have added over the years. It just seems to build and build and build. And I appreciate you taking the time today out of your way to tell us about this wonderful news for our listeners.
Thank you. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to share these great news with your listeners.
And I think that's going to do for the AppleVis Extra number 85. Scott, it was a pleasure being with you once again. We have to do this a little more often.
We really do. I mean, it almost feels like it was 1985 when you and I did a podcast together.
It's been a lot of years.
It sure has.
So nonetheless, are you excited about this as am I?
Oh, absolutely. Not only for me, but for a lot of the people I work with, this set of tools is really going to make a huge difference in a lot of ways. And I think that probably once we get through the beta and get things released, I bet there are probably things that we don't even know about now that will be there. So that's also exciting.
Man, the Alexa thing is going to be huge too.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, this is Thomas Domville, also known as Anonymous, here with Scott Davert. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
This AppleVis podcast has been brought to you by the community of AppleVis.com. For the latest in resources and tips and tricks to get you the best experience from your Apple device, visit www.applevis.com.